What if I told you that the reality you see around you is nothing more than a giant hologram? And what if I told you that back in 1983, the CIA not only discovered this but spent years training people to travel outside their physical bodies to explore other dimensions? This isn't a sci-fi movie. This is the gateway process. For decades, a 29-page document remained hidden in the CIA's archives, detailing a secret program to unlock the human mind's true potential. Today, we are peeling back the layers of the most mind-bending experiment in history to understand how the government tried to hack the fabric of space and time. In 2003, the CIA declassified a report titled Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. It was written by Lieutenant Colonel Wayne M. McDonnell. His mission? To evaluate a training program designed to alter brainwaves and allow a person to achieve an out-of-body state. McDonnell didn't just look at this from a spiritual lens. He approached it with quantum physics, neuroscience, and biomedical engineering. To understand how the CIA planned to transcend reality, we must first look at the core technology they used: Hemi-Sync. Our brain is divided into two hemispheres, the logical left and the creative right. Usually, they operate independently. But the gateway process utilized a technique called hemispheric synchronization, or Hemi-Sync. By playing slightly different sound frequencies into each ear, known as binaural beats, the brain is forced to bridge the gap. It creates a third frequency internally, syncing both halves of the brain into a single, powerful state of focus. This isn't just relaxation. It's a launchpad for human consciousness to leave the physical world behind. But here is where it gets truly wild. To explain where our mind goes during this process, the CIA report points to the holographic universe theory. It suggests that the entire universe is a complex system of energy interference patterns, essentially a giant hologram. The report claims that our physical bodies are just energy containers. Once you synchronize your brain, you can tune out of this physical frequency and tune in to a universal energy grid that exists outside of time and space. According to the CIA, you aren't moving. You are simply shifting your frequency to a different layer of existence. But understanding the theory was just the beginning. The CIA had to put this into practice using specific focus levels to navigate these non-physical realms. This leads us deeper into the mechanics of how they actually achieved these states and what they encountered on the other side. To navigate the non-physical dimensions, the gateway process didn't just tell participants to meditate. They developed a roadmap of specific states called focus levels. The first major milestone is Focus 10, described as body asleep, mind awake. In this state, your physical senses are completely turned off, but your consciousness is more alert than ever. Once the body is silenced, the mind can begin to interact with the energy grid. But this was only the starting point. The goal was to reach Focus 12, a state of expanded awareness where you no longer feel the boundaries of your physical skin. You begin to perceive things beyond the room you're sitting in. The CIA report describes a state beyond time and space called the Absolute, and this is a point of pure energy where every possibility exists simultaneously. But how do you stay grounded in such an overwhelming environment? The program taught participants to create an energy bar tool, a mental visualization of a glowing rod of light. This wasn't just imagination. The CIA believed that by focusing intent, a person could use this mental tool to protect their energy field, or even heal their physical body, while their consciousness was away. It was a bridge between the mental and the physical. Now, you might wonder, why was the CIA, a government intelligence agency, so interested in this? The answer is simple: intelligence gathering. If a person could leave their body and travel anywhere in the world, or even back in time, no secret was safe. This led to the famous Project Stargate. They wanted to know if remote viewers could visit Soviet bunkers or locate missing aircraft just by using their minds. The Gateway Report provided the scientific how behind these psychic abilities, proving to the top brass that these weren't just myths. They were measurable phenomena. One of the biggest hurdles in leaving the physical body is fear. The subconscious mind often panics when it realizes it's no longer attached to the body. To counter this, The program taught the resonant energy balloon, or REBAL. This is a protective shield of energy that you breathe out from your head and around your body. The REBAL creates a safe space, ensuring that as you venture further into the unknown, you remain protected from any negative influences or energy parasites that the report hints might exist in other dimensions. The deeper the CIA went into the gateway process, the more they realized that reality was far more fragile than we think. But there was one part of the report that caused more controversy than any other, a single page that vanished for decades, the infamous page 25. For over 2 decades, a declassified CIA document known as the Gateway Report had a huge, mysterious gap. Page 25 was completely missing. This single missing page fueled countless theories from researchers and conspiracy enthusiasts, all convinced it was suppressed because it held the ultimate secret about human existence and the nature of reality. Finally, in 2021, the Monroe Institute, the organization that developed the techniques, released it. What it revealed was more astonishing than anyone could have ever imagined. Page 25 is not a mundane memo. It's a philosophical bombshell. It explains that our entire universe is essentially a giant, conscious thought form. It makes a bold conclusion. There is no real separation between out there and in here. Everything, from the most distant star in the galaxy to the very thoughts swirling in your mind, is part of one singular, universal consciousness. This means we are not just passive observers looking out at the universe. We are the universe itself, experiencing itself through our individual perspectives. But the CIA wasn't just interested in deep philosophy. They were focused on the practical, almost sci-fi applications of this state of consciousness, specifically time travel. The report theorizes that since time is just another dimension within this holographic grid of reality, a mind synchronized to the right frequency can essentially move along the timeline. It's like tuning a radio to a different station, but instead of music, you're tuning into different points in time. The report details different levels of focus participants could achieve. In a state known as Focus 15, they reported experiencing what they called no time. In this state, they could witness past events not as distant memories, but as if they were happening right in front of them, in real time. You can immediately see why a government agency would be so invested. The ability to see the future with clarity or to revisit and understand the past perfectly would be the ultimate advantage, the most powerful tool in any nation's arsenal. So, if the gateway process was so successful and unlocked such incredible abilities, why on earth did the CIA shut it down? The official story, as it often is quite bland. The program was cancelled in the mid-1990s due to budget cuts and a supposed lack of actionable intelligence. It just wasn't practical, they said. But many who have studied the program believe the real reason is far more complex and profound. The gateway process didn't just create better spies, it created transformed human beings. When a person truly understands their own power and their connection to this universal consciousness, they can no longer be controlled by the usual levers of power, like fear or government authority. They start to realize that the physical world, with all its systems of control and power, is just a tiny fraction of a much larger, more magnificent reality. They had awakened to something bigger. Perhaps the government got scared. They had opened a door they couldn't close, a Pandora's box of human potential. They might have realized that if this knowledge became widespread, the very foundations of their power structures could crumble. It's one thing to have a few trained agents who can see into the past. It is another thing entirely for the general population to realize they are godlike beings in a thought-based universe. The gateway process remains one of the most fascinating intersections of government secrecy and spiritual awakening ever documented. Whether you believe it was a sophisticated psychological experiment, a failed attempt at psychic warfare, or a genuine manual for unlocking the soul, one thing is absolutely certain. Our potential as human beings is far, far greater than we have been led to believe. The CIA may have declassified the documents, but the real gateway isn't in a file cabinet in Langley. It's within your own mind. So, what do you think? Is our reality a complex hologram? Are we just beginning to scratch the surface of what it truly means to be human? If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the CIA's most secret and mind-bending files, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more mysteries. The truth is out there, just waiting for you to tune in. Thanks for watching.